Hi friends! This is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to First Snow. This is part 9 of the series. 9! Book Totoro in the upper iCard area. See the rest of the series. Do the things, do the stuff, click the buttons. You know how this works. Meanwhile, not knowing things, we're jumping back into Act 3. We got there, folks! Woo! This is the final act of this free game, and again, it's free. Oh my god, there's so much content here. I'm so impressed. Not only is it a glorious amount of content and a fantastic world they've built, but they also have just wonderful ways in which they've told this story. I'm really surprised this is a free game. So again, go check it out. Go check out this developer as well, Twofold. They're fantastic. I am really impressed. And where we left off, we were on the back of the motorbike with Rose. Rose drove Allison 7 hours to Colorado to see Aline. So let's see how this goes, especially since Aline does not get along or talk about her family much at all. So she's kind of stepping into unknown here. You know, it's really interesting how quickly this is progressing, and I have no idea where Rose is staying. Like, if she's driving back, Rose is the best human. Period. So, we'll see. Click. We're gonna load this game. Meeting the parents! Oh god, this is gonna be so interesting. The two of us find ourselves in this surprisingly quaint little corner of America, a heavily forested town with snow-covered pines visible no matter which direction you look. Wood seems to be the norm for building around here rather than concrete. I find it quite charming, actually. I was worried I'd be awkwardly roaming through some manicured slice of suburbia, but this feels closer to a friendly country town. Almost something from one of Aline's westerns. Just give me a call the day before you want to come back, alright? I just need a day's notice to drive 7 hours to pick you up. And then 7 hours to go back. Rose is the bomb. She's really, like, dropping you off, and then she's, like, on the bike for 2/3 of the day. What? I will. Thanks again for all this. I know it's a really long way. Don't worry, it's a nice ride out here anyway. Might stick around a bit before heading back. As she walks back to her bike, she stops and turns around once more, raising her hand in farewell. Yo. I am the savior of this series. Peace. If you ever want to give me a call, go ahead. It's no problem. I'll be seeing ya, Allison. Bye, Rose. Thanks for everything. She beams a smile as she gets back on her bike, fitting her helmet before kicking back the stand. Flick of her wrist and a press of her foot, her bike roars to life. Rose sailing off down the road and around the corner, out of sight. I do my best to appear natural as I turn back to the house before me, duffel bag of clothes slung over my shoulder. Scenery around here is nice, and there's hardly a crowd. In fact, I'm the only person around at all. That's a big house. I get a good look at it. Lean's house sure is big. Yeah, that's a big house. My eyes slowly scan around as I slowly make my way down the front garden path, taking in every detail. I guess being outside the city would make bigger houses a little bit more affordable. Yeah. With a gulp, I gingerly pressed the doorbell beside the solid oaken door, quickly brushing my clothes with my hands afterwards to look as presentable as possible. Please don't be ruffled. Please don't be ruffled. Even as muffled footsteps approach, trying to flick a little snow from my hair. As Lane opens the door, I'm greeted by a warm smile. That reflexive reaction at the sight of me makes me feel better already. Oh, she's so cute. Fancy seeing you here. I made it in the end. Enjoy the bike ride? Yeah, it was great. I don't think I managed to make that very convincing. Looking at each other, I think we both realize we're just making small talk. She leans forward, two of us sharing a momentary kiss before she nods for me to come in. It's strange how such a simple action can feel so nice every time. My heart skipping even from the most gentle peck. Whoa! It's like a freaking TLC featured house or something, right? It's like a reality show type house. It's huge. Oh my god. I obediently follow her inside, closing the door behind me as I do. Dad, she's Eileen's cut off by the sound of socked footsteps on carpet. Rapidly approaching, a small figure suddenly skips around the corner of the stairs and out into the entranceway, nearly barreling straight into Eileen before stopping herself. With both of us taken by surprise, the small girl examines me, likely around 10 by the looks of her. It's difficult not to see a bit of Eileen in her face. Hello there. She quickly shuffles behind Eileen in response. Her prince... oh, hold on. No, Hello there. General Kenobi. I'm sorry. Had to do that. She quickly shuffles behind Eileen in response, her apprehensive face peering out from safety. Eileen just gives a sigh in response. Welcome to the family. Aww. Oh? Oh. Things are progressing quickly. The smell of freshly cooked chicken wafts in the air, the skin still steaming away with an appetizing glint. The line of plates on the center of the table hardly lacks for sides, either, with potato salad, coleslaw, lettuce, and other greens. While I'm thankful for the luxurious dinner before me, it's a rather quick introduction to her family. I can't help but feel intimidated when surrounded by everyone at once. With her father already preparing dinner as Eileen let me in, and her mother arriving from work only soon after, it was unavoidable. That being the case, here we all are, gathered around one big table. Well, not exactly a mansion, it's obvious Eileen's family lives very comfortably. Probably be green with envy at how well off they are, if not for being so self-conscious of how to act in front of them. Oh, that's a face. Andrew. I suppose some proper introductions are in order, now that we're all together. I'm Eileen's father, Andrew, and this is my lovely wife, Elizabeth. Just absolutely the most boring cishet names, and we're here. A pleasure. And you would be Allison? Yes, Allison Merlot. My nerves seem to amuse her father as he gives a reassuring smile. This isn't a job interview, you can relax. Right, yeah, sorry. Allow a long breath to try and relax a little, though it really doesn't work. Well now, let's dig in. I'm no chef, but hopefully shouldn't give you any food poisoning. Smiling politely as I attempt to lighten the mood, I start to ladle this and that from large plates. My mouth's already watering at the prospect of such a wonderful smelling food. Rose might be many things, but she isn't a cook. Oh, that face. Hold on. Did you... No, we're... Oh, hold on. This face. Right there. Right there. On that right-hand side, the kid. Absolutely just done with all of this. Smiling politely. Satisfied with my selection of meat and salads, I pile some potato salad onto my fork and tentatively have a taste. My reactions seem to draw some smiles as I make progress on the meal, but I'm so enamored with the food I can't help but keep going. It's nice to see Aline's already made friends in college. A brief panic comes over me as I realize we haven't talked this over. Is she out to her parents? Are we going to play this as simply friends? As I mull over how to handle things, Aline's voice cuts through. Allison's my girlfriend. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. Yeah! If you knew your girlfriend was coming over, maybe broach the topic before she's here? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Everything seems to stop for a moment. Yes, you should have. Oh, that face. I thought you said having a girlfriend wouldn't be a problem. You know that isn't what I'm talking about. This isn't the first time you've kept us in the dark since moving out. I have to admit that I can sympathize with her mother, which puts me in a delightfully awkward spot. Lean's father makes no attempt to mediate as he eats, which is probably the best approach. I didn't think I needed to report back on everything I did. Oh, Aline. Don't you think this is important enough to warrant a phone call? Neither Aline nor her mother raise their voice, even eating the odd bit of food as they quibble. The argument almost feels routine, which, going by her father's reaction, might well be the case. Even her sister is still eating, albeit with badly hidden glances. This is her coming out. Oh my god, this is her coming out. I mean, our daughter's first girlfriend. Isn't it nice she gained something from college? She looks pointedly to her husband with an edge of a snark to her voice, but he, perhaps smartly, simply acknowledges her with a smile. Dropping that on them here and now is quite the decision. I'm beginning to wonder why I thought this was a good idea. I can't read her parents at all, but I can already tell my presence here is only increasing a tension that usually permeates this household. Well, now you know. Well, you now know. At least Aline dating a girl isn't the problem in and of itself. Aline's father finally pipes up as their argument peters out, taking a swig of his wine to wash down his food. Settling all that aside, it sounds like college in Utah is working out well for the both of them. Her father gives a quick chuckle, maybe sensing a tense mood. He seems down to earth and relaxed, especially compared to her mother. That said, I get a vague feeling of being a foreigner, and not just because I'm in a different city, as if there's a certain social etiquette that I'm not quite aware of, but everyone else is following naturally. Quite. So tell us about yourself, Allison. I hate that question. So tell us about yourself. Oh, God. Attention now focuses on me. I freeze up. I must have expected this would come up. Judging by their conversation, Aline probably told them nothing about me. This feels like introduction on the first day of elementary school all over again. Let's see how I go to the same college as Aline. I have lived in the same city my whole life, but I moved a little closer to campus before semester started, so I'm still getting used to that. So you are an, art student like Aline? Oh, no, I'm nowhere near her level. I'm actually on a science scholarship. Science, huh? She sounds immediately interested, her eyebrows raised, but all I can offer is an evasive dodge. I don't know how to say that I'm not really excited about it, even if I apparently have some talent. We were in an art club together, though. We met through the mutual friend who met through the mutual friend who made it. We were both kidnapped by Caprice and forced together into this room, of which then we had very awkward, cute, gay revelations together, and now we're here, coming out to you. Hi. Also, This is only Allison's second time telling people she's gay. Period. She came out to Rose, and then she kinda, I don't really count coming out to Aline because she basically just asked Aline out. That's a little bit different of a level, I think. This is really like the second, like, someone else who is obviously not a potential love interest coming out. And it's very awkward. I see. Her previous curiosity suddenly hits a wall, her entire demeanor changing. They say something wrong? The abrupt change in tone completely breaks my train of thought. Unsure whether or not to continue or clear things up. The other problem I have is feeling of someone's eyes drilling into me. Lean's mother notices as my eyes shift beside her, hand holding the little girl's back to reassure her. Come on, dear, be polite. The effort doesn't seem to move her, the girl resisting as her suspicious face shrinks behind her daintily patterned children's plate. Don't be silly. My name's Eve. Nice to meet you, Eve. That's a lovely name. I keep smiling, but her pouting shows my charm offensive isn't working out. Once again, Aline comes to the rescue, speaking up as I try to think of another way to overcome her distrust. Are you gonna be like this all night? Eve just huffs and starts shoveling food into her mouth. The size of her spoon and the table before her makes the attempt at seriousness look amusing. More amusing than anything else. Don't mind her. She'll come around. She might say that, but I was hoping her cute little sister might be a little warm towards me. At least her mother has given up questioning me for now. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, the spare guest room's just been cleaned out a few days ago, so you could use that while you're here. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry to impose so much on you. You have charm going for you. Wouldn't you say, Aline? Aline's grimaces. Her mother embarrassing her in that particular way only a parent knows how. She seems like a lot of emotional manipulation. No wonder Aline is fully just like emotional barricade. There's no way she could deal with it. Ooh. Emotionally manipulative parents is so rough. I can already feel my eyelids getting heavy as I lean back into the wonderfully soft couch. The exhaustion of the trip and meeting with Aline's folks finally catching up to me as I rest in the living room. The fireplace happily crackles away near the Christmas tree. The cozy room all the warmer thanks to the heat of the shower still lingering on my skin. All that can be heard are the fire and the faint clacking of dishes as Aline's parents wash up, recounting the day's events between them. Oh, hey. I very nearly succumb to my drowsiness before Aline walks in, pulling back her still slightly wet hair. Yeah, you focus on boobs first. You really do, Allison. The sight of her in pajamas wakes me up a little, though I quickly try to move my gaze elsewhere. Okay, so you acknowledge that that's happened, which means that that's canon, so every time that's just boobs, you are literally looking at boobs first. Period. That's how many times in this series has it just been boobs? She practically collapses onto the couch beside me, staring up at the ceiling for a while to collect herself. I catch myself staring at her, but if she minds, she doesn't show it. What a day. That goes for the both of us. I almost mentioned the argument Aline had with her mother, but can't work out how I want to phrase it. Maybe it's for the best that Aline preempts me. So how was the trip? Now that we can talk properly. The times we stopped were good. You're braver than I am. Couldn't pay me enough to get on one of those things. Come on. I'm sure you'd be a natural at it. No way. Your roommate's crazy for using it as her only transportation. Your parents seem nice. Aline just shrugs. I wish they were a little more subtle. About what? Being so specific that you'll use the guest room, not mine. My cheeks flush scarlet as I connect the dots. Did you just realize what that was about? No, I'm still embarrassed to talk about it. Aline finds amusement in how flustered I am. Burying my face in my hands. Never change. If I had lied and said we were just friends, I wonder if they would have been so adamant about the two of us not sharing a room. I peek at her from behind my hands. I don't really know what to say. Don't know enough about her parents to say anything. Maybe that would have been better, huh? Her smile returns and she leans in towards me. I can feel my face get redder. My heart burning in my chest. All I can do is lean in to meet her. Aline closes her eyes, our lips meeting for one brief moment. So pull back, the two of us look at each other and smile, partially from happiness and partially from our sheepishness. It's gonna be a while before this comes naturally, I guess. As I watch her, though, Aline's face slowly collapses into frustration. What's wrong? Ah! Everything's wrong! Aline makes no secret of her displeasure as she sighs and takes to her feet, confronting the small, very unhappy girl before us. Stings to be so close, only to be interrupted. Eve. Aline's sister takes little notice, directing her pouting towards the object of her annoyance, me. She's my sister. I finally get to play with Aline after so long, and you keep hogging her. You want to play, don't you? Aline flits behind Eve while she's busy ranting at me, bringing her arms around the child's midsection and lifting her up against her chest with ease. As Eve finds her feet dangling a couple of inches from the carpet, she begins flailing about to grab a foothold. Let go of me! Wow, you haven't grown at all. They'll definitely help calm her down. To no surprise, the two start fighting, Eve slightly bodily jerking this way and that as Aline plants her feet and refuses to let go despite her squirming around. I'll tell Mom on you! And what? She'll ground me? Eve fruitlessly continues to struggle, arms and legs flailing about in the air. For all her frustration and growling, her acting out just makes Aline all the more amused as she teases her little sister. Watching the two having their little sibling scuffle reminds me of my brothers at home. For the first time, my nerves about being here fade a little. That was really cute. Sitting on the side of the bed I'll be using for a week, I idly watch the news on the small television placed on the cabinet. Little speakers on the device try valiantly, but the voices are so tinny I can barely understand them. It's 10:30 in the evening. Going by the clock in the corner of the broadcast, adulthood's weird. Now that I can go to sleep whenever I want without my parents disapproving, I dutifully do so at a reasonable time anyway, so I can be fresh for school. The fact I'm actually watching the news nowadays, too, is strange. Bored of the reports about trucks being stuck after sliding around on the roads, I let myself flop back onto soft blankets as it drones on. Lacking the energy to do anything else, I lazily stare upwards. Yet another unfamiliar ceiling above me. It feels like everything is constantly changing these days. My old home sure didn't have a guest bedroom, let alone one that's so nicely furnished. Here I was thinking I'd be squeezing into Aline's bed. Not that I'd have minded that at all. For all the lovely things she has here, though, Aline seems to be intentionally trying to distance herself from her parents. I don't understand it at all. She might have told me not to pry into her life, but It's hard to ignore what's right in front of your face. I quickly shuffle myself up at the sound of an opening door sliding across the carpet. With a gentle touch, Aline gingerly closes the door behind her. I'd have thought everyone to be asleep by now, but maybe I should have expected her, of all people, to still be up. Aline? She puts a finger over her lips as she turns back before walking up, climbing onto the bed, and facing me as I twist around. Two of us end up sitting in center. Shouldn't you be sleeping? The same goes for you. She has me there. Far from the quiet feeling awkward, I find myself smiling at our secret rendezvous. It feels like we're considering a sleepover. Too bad the movie's just news instead of some horror movies we snuck past our parents. You did that? Once. My friends were so freaked out, we went back to our usual horrible romance stuff. There's nothing wrong with romance movies. Her face makes it abundantly clear this difference in opinion that'll never be bridged. I have to admit, there's one thing different to back then, though. Aline's body is really hard to ignore when you're like this. As much as I try to distract myself from the subject, she did sneak into my bedroom at night. What's wrong? Nothing, it's just... You're really pretty. It isn't often I can catch her being bashful, but I think this might finally be one of those times. The moment of victory is brief, though, as Aline's quick movement towards me takes me all the more off guard. Oh. Unable to make sense of the girl suddenly lunging at me, both of us are sent falling backwards into the soft mattress. Oh? Takes a couple of seconds to collect myself and work out what happened. Time seeming to stop, so I'm left staring upwards at the pair of emerald eyes above me. I'm pinned, I think. A brief attempt to right myself ends in a little more than a couple of weak jerks, Aline holding my arms to the thick sheets with her body weight. Silence reigns, my vision filled with her face, looking downwards. I have no idea what to say as my heart beats wildly in my chest, yet she doesn't say a word. Aline, what are you? I missed you. How am I supposed to respond to that? Were her face any different? I think it was an invitation, but there's sincerity there that takes me off guard. Oh, this is really cute, guys. I wonder how often I've seen her face, or anyone's, from this close. And for so long. I can't help but stare upwards, trying my best to read that face I so often can't. As I do, though, I realize something. She's doing just the same. Maybe she's scared of forcing me to do something that I don't want to do, or afraid of getting too close too fast. Maybe she's simply like I am, unused to being looked at this intently. Either way, she's leering over me. Aline's genuinely unsure what to do next. Whatever the reason, I can't help but smile a little. Did I do something wrong? I was just thinking about how you're still the same as ever. What's that supposed to mean? Answer her confusion by lifting my chin a little in invitation. Not that I can move much more. Aww. Without any further prompting needed, she presses her lips to mine with a satisfied sigh. It isn't long before our tongues move about, her breath tingling on my face. I squirm about roughly as the atmosphere gets heavier between us, Aline easily keeping me down. It's a little exciting to be playing like this, and she shows no signs of letting up. A shiver runs up my spine as I find her thigh between my legs in my fidgeting about, my heart beginning to race with ideas of this and that. With lips affectionately breaking and meeting, Aline barely letting me take so much as a breath. I can't help but think back to the first time we did this. Ah. And then several sharp thuds against the door ring out. My entire body freezes, my heart nearly jumping out of my chest. The both of us freeze up as I break from our kissing to look over, hoping against hope the door doesn't creak open. It's getting late, Allison. Why now of all times? I can only thank my lucky stars that we've been quiet, but being one door handle turned away from being seen like this is far too close for comfort. Oh, right, sorry, I'll go to bed soon. That was remarkably more natural than I thought I'd be able to pull off. Thank you. If you need anything, just ask. Sleep well. Thanks. Good night. As her footsteps go down the hallway, the both of us heave a great sigh. The mood's completely gone as the both of us look at each other. I suppose this is one benefit of Aline having her own apartment. Uh-huh. I run my hands through my hair to settle myself down as Aline sits back on the bed, wisely letting a few minutes go by before trying to sleep out of my room. I also miss living alone. Well, that was annoying. See you tomorrow, I guess. Have a good sleep. With that, she slips out of bed, quickly shuffling across the room before pausing a moment before turning the handle. As I pick myself up to wish her good night, she curtly turns back. To be honest, I think you look really pretty too. Oh, I didn't manage to form a reply before she scares out of the room. Then again, my scarlet cheeks probably did the job for me. Oh. Okay. That was a lot. Uh-huh. What the I don't... Is that Millie? It looks like Millie. I'm very confused. I'm also going to stop it here. I want to make sure that... No. I can still go for a little while. Yep, I can still go for a little while. Last episode was short, so I shouldn't cut it off right at the end of that. So let's keep going. So, my bad. Subscribe. Help me, encourage me, tell me, Dainty, don't cut these short. Give it more time. So, this looks like Millie, right? Rubbing sleep from my eyes, I slowly dragged myself to the living room. A restrained yawn heralds my entrance. Thought I might have trouble getting to sleep in an unfamiliar place, but after everything that happened, I crashed almost immediately. Looks like Aline's family are early risers. Noises from the kitchen, presumably being from her parents, while the television blares away just ahead. The fire's crackling would make it quite a cozy scene, if not for being interspersed with cartoon voices. Oh. Eve sits on the couch as I glance down, already bundled in her winter outfit like a puffy ball of clothing, eagerly watching the morning cartoons. Her legs swing away as she happily munches on a bowl of brightly colored cereal. Okay. So Eve is adorable. Got it. Eve looks like Millie, but like 10 and fashionable. Like super fashionable. I couldn't help but smile, reminding my own childhood. The show and the setting might be different, but the innocence is just the same. I forgot what this simple experience felt like. Oh. I take a seat beside the oversized hamster, Eve barely acknowledging my presence, before Aline pops in from the kitchen and calls out to me. Looks like coffee in her hand hasn't kicked in quite yet. Want any food? There's toast and cereal if you want any. I don't usually eat breakfast. Thanks though. Why? Breakfast is great. Friendo, you need breakfast. Shrugging in response, the tired Aline heads back out. Meh, I tried. Despite settling down to watch Eve's cartoons with her, can't help but eavesdrop on the conversation between Aline and her mother can be heard from the other room. Oh no. Any plans for the day? Was going to study for school. Real studying, not just drawing. The cartoon's loud exclamations punctuate the short silence that forms Aline's reply. Should have known. I've seen your marks from high school. I just want you to do well. Maybe you could have Allison help. She seems to have a good head on her shoulders. She's been helping me with my math already. And here I was worrying about who you might end up with for a girlfriend. So, did they know she was already potentially gay? I can handle myself fine. Why worry? Because I'm your mother, that's why. Aline doesn't exactly sound buoyed by the comments, but I have to admit that the praise is nice to hear. It's a bit sad to hear her mother doesn't approve of her pursuing art, though. I wonder how tempered this exchange is, thanks to them keeping things together since I'm around. Morning, you two. Going out, dear? Just swinging into town to grab paper and milk. Want to come along? Eve, Allison, we're heading out for a moment. Okay. We're going to buy your favorite shop, Eve. I'm coming! She drops her almost finished bowl onto the coffee table so hastily it nearly spills, skittering out to the door with faint pitter-patter on the carpet. It's amazing how much energy kids have. Aline's parents give a short farewell as they escort Eve out, the girl racing out straight to the car. To be a child again, filled with excitement for a next car trip or television show. With her family out the door, Aline watches them drive off before heading over. I shift over a little so she drops onto the couch, settling her coffee down with somewhat more care than her sister's cereal. I give a loud stretch, but rather than being out of tiredness, it's more to calm myself as my heart starts beating in anticipation. We're finally alone, for real this time. As I look over to Aline, it's obvious that she has the same idea as she turns off television. Wanna pick up where we left off last night? I want to, but isn't it kind of early for this? She has to think She has to think that through. When do giggity? Giggity early? Lesbians giggity all. It's fine. It'll wake us up. Uh-huh. I'm not giving a chance to respond as she presses her lips to mine. Not that I particularly wanted to argue the fact. This will likely be the last time we can share a moment like this for a good while. Oh? Aww. Okay. Now I think it's time. I think this is a good stopping point now. So, I'm glad I continued on. Obviously, they need to get some stuff out of their system. With that, we're going to leave off where we are and see more about Aline's family as things progress here. Subscribe, come back, poke the Totoro, do the things, do the stuff. Send it to your friends. Tell them about the Dainty Tank. With that, love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!